We're gonna talk potatoes. I'm excited to plant potatoes. When aren't I excited about plants in any form? What's up, my plant people? Welcome back. And if you're new here, I am the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening, houseplants, and humor as a form of therapy. I like to keep gardening no matter what. Even if I am not outside, I like to bring the gardening indoors with me. And one of the ways you can do that is through container gardening. Containers for potatoes. Now, there are two different kind of varieties of containers that you can do. Actually, you can use any container. There is no standard requirement for containers. So I'm going to show you right here. I have two different kind of containers. I have right here a bin, your standard regular size bin, that I brought this from outside. Like, I grew, and yes, you can grow your potatoes in containers outside. So they become mobile. Bring them into your greenhouse, whatever you want. So they're kind of versatile. So I brought this bin from outside in my garden inside so I can try to grow them in here. This is my cat litter box. My cat litter container, cat litter box, cat litter bin, cat litter container, whatever you want to call it. But I took it and it works out because it's like 5 gallons. I want to say at least, no, maybe a little shy of 5 gallons, I'm sure. But just grab a large container. I spray painted this black. Of course, I got to re-spray paint some of it because I had the lid on when I spray painted it, because that was smart. I stuck with black because obviously it's going to be able to absorb heat if I was to bring this container outside, especially in my greenhouse. I had to drill holes on the bottom of this. So that's what we're going to do right now. I used this drill bit when I drilled holes into my container for my herb garden. If you haven't checked that out, I'm going to drop a link in the description below so you can see exactly what I did. But I'm going to drill some holes into the bottom of this container. Remember, drainage, 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 drainage. Pop a bunch of holes up in this piece, okay? Really do. You're using containers that have an uneven base like this, that you have to drill the holes in these plates, all of them. This is the deepest part and the water will accumulate. So make sure to put holes evenly everywhere. This drill bit is kind of small. Of course, you can use a larger one, but then again, I don't want a bunch of dirt falling out of it. Let's talk potatoes. When picking or selecting what kind of potatoes you can use for your container, definitely probably not advised to just buy your standard potatoes from a supermarket, because what they do is when they grow these potatoes, they spray their plants, they spray everything with some sort of chemical or something that prevents them from growing, like, you know, prevents them from seeding enough where you can grow your own. They get stunted if they even grow at all. You can go to your home improvement store and buy seed potatoes. I've gotten that, and especially I've done that in Lowe's where they have clearance sections. If you're gonna buy them from a supermarket, you know, get them organic because they will not be sprayed with anything, and you'll have a better chance of growing them indoors, outdoors, in your containers, whatever, because they're not sprayed. What you do is see these sprouts right here? These are called chits. I know it sounds funny because it sounds like, but chits, okay? Now, what you do is if you want to get them to sprout up and grow, they like to sprout in a cool, dark place. You will get you'll start to grow. It really will. Where I kind of forgot about them, and bam, I got eyeballs. Well, I got eyes, chits. Now that you got these chits, you have two ways of planting these kind of potatoes. One, you can leave them whole. That's totally doable. You can just drop this in the soil, no problem. Sounds pretty easy, right? Because you can. Or the other way is because if you notice on this potato, you have an eyeball. You have an eyeball, right? It's not an eyeball. Why do I keep saying eyeball? It's an eye, it's a sprout. You know what I mean. You see one right here? Boop. There we go. You got one over there, and you got one over here. Now you can split that. Now you can leave one chit on here, or eye, whatever you want to call it, that's been sprouted, and cut this over. Or you can leave them whole. It's up to you. But I would suggest, and just don't plant them right in the dirt, okay? They will rot like this. So what you do is you leave them on your counter like for one day and just let them callus or dry over. Then they'll get like a little tough and dried out on the outside. Oh, I just noticed I have spray paint on my hand. So oops, that was from the bin that I just spray painted earlier in the day. This potato is small, but I grew this myself. Okay, this was a random bin that I had that, you know, I didn't need anymore. So of course I drilled holes in the bottom of this and I kept the lid. Of course, this is a different color lid, but it's the same, you know what I mean. Just keep something to hold, you know, the water that drains off in the bottom of these containers. Up with soil. I want to say at least 6 to 8 inches on, you know, this already had some soil already in it. And if I look around, oh, bam, what do I see? A potato. After you fill this up with a little bit of soil, maybe about like 6 to 8 inches from the bottom. Okay, this is what I did now. I filled up this container, my cat litter box that I did. Don't forget to wash it and drill the holes. Now, once you did that, I swear by this stuff. This is perlite. You can add this extra to your soil for added drainage. Remember, I keep talking about drainage, lots and lots of drainage. Now we're gonna add some worm castings. We need some sort of fertilizer. These potatoes are gonna be heavy feeders. So I'm just adding my worm castings to this. You can add liquid fertilizer. I'm also gonna do that too to continue the fertilization process and to add that extra potassium that these potatoes are gonna need. You can put the potatoes in whole, that's cool. Or remember, you can cut them, let them dry off and put them in there too. Whatever you want, okay? But for this one, I'm gonna leave this container with whole potatoes. Remember, this is not that much. I'm not putting a lot of soil in this, okay? Just enough to get it started. So I'm gonna add these 2 large ones and this one little chiquito. Look how small he is, he's so tiny. I leave these kind of pointed up. That's where the leaves are gonna grow out of. So I wanna point them up. These are not ready to put in, but as they callus over, I can totally add it right into these containers, either one container you have. All we do now is just add the remaining of the soil to cover these potatoes. Bye, potatoes. I can't see you no more, but I will soon once you start growing. All I did was just add them, cover them up, and that's it. Of course, you know, water them a bit so they don't stay dry and whatnot, because that'll kind of defeat the purpose of all this, because all plants need water. Right. Keep in mind that if you're gonna grow these containers indoors, you're gonna need bright ass light bulbs. You need some high, full spectrum grow lights. I mean, you can find grow bulbs, full spectrum, of course, in your home improvement stores. They are a little smaller though, so you'd have to have that light right directly on top of this bin. After a while, you have a bunch of sprouts, potato sprouts coming up. Now, do you see how tall they are? Right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take some soil and you're gonna put it around the stalk, okay? You are going to level up your plants by adding soil around the stem. We are layering because we will get more potatoes if we do this. As the plant grows, we add more soil. So this eventually, after a while, the bin will be filled with soil and you will have layers and layers of potatoes. Okay, these potatoes are gonna take at least a few weeks to start sprouting. So it's a waiting game. And once again, plants are teaching me patience. I can't rush the process as much as I want to. I've tried that. It doesn't work that way. Plants are my therapy and learning life lessons that apparently I can't learn any other way. I love chilling with you guys, and I hope that we learned something about potatoes today. You can grow in any old bin that you want, whether it be a regular house bin for storage, a cat litter box as a bin, whatever works. I'm glad we did this together. You know, this is something that I love to do, and it gets me bummed out in the wintertime where I can't garden. Seasonal affective disorder and winter depression is a real thing. And I struggle with that a lot. And you know, it comes along with a chronic illness, comes along with chronic pain. And I like to combat these things with keeping plants in my life, in whether they be house plants, which of course, as you see in the background, and gardening vegetable plants. And I hope you guys try it. I really do. And let me know, drop it in the comments if you try growing container potatoes before. I would love to know. And if you haven't already, shameless plug, what are we gonna do? Like, subscribe? That's awesome. Oh, don't forget to hit the notification bell. I drop videos every Friday, and Facebook. I'm on Facebook at the ADHD Gardener, and I post daily a lot of humor related stuff also. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys next week where we will be messing with more vegetables. Bye. Why are you so cute? Why are you so cute? I can't take this face. Oh my gosh.